Hello everybody, Lake Station Community Advocate and Educator here. So, this was seen on the other Lake Station resident page, and they're trying to generate around 1.5 million. Now, it's funny, because some of the things that I've found have actually been more than 1.5 million, but it says 1% of assessed value, but paperwork says different. Tax caps for 1%. Are the taxpayers giving away their tax caps when voting for the referendum? That's fine. Well, since the school and their accountants and so on want the community to make their own decisions, but yet come directly to them, I'm going to give you some actual information that I believe you all should be very aware of because, well, it is for the public to make sure that our public officials and our administrators are not messing things up. So this is the Indiana State Board of Accounts. This specific website is factual. It goes directly to the state and what the school and the state findings are with where the money's going and what's happening to the funds. And you should. And people are like, well, I'm voting yes because it's for the kids. Well, I would implore you, those of you who think that way, is one, don't believe the logical lie of it's for the kids. Because if it was really for the kids, well, they wouldn't be continually audited for the same things for numerous years. And more than 10 years, let's say that. And this would be the website. So what you'll do is you'll go to www.in.gov/SBOA/ you hit enter. It will bring up this website. You will click on audit reports, search reports, and what you will do is it will bring you up to this. And on this site, on this portion of the tab, it'll ask you to basically what you're looking for, and you're going to type in Lake Station in that first bar. Underneath it, it's going to ask you what county. So you're going to put in Lake County right here. And then over here, they're asking you the unit type. Is it a charter school, private school? What is it? So you're just going to put in school. You're going to hit enter. And what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down on the screen, and you're going to see this. And these are the times that Lake Station schools have been audited throughout the years. So you can see between 2012, 2013, 14, and 15, when they first started toying with the idea of eliminating buses and why, you'll find through these documents, these are factual documents, by the way, that show exactly what's happening with school finances. And this is not wrong. This is factual. This is for public, thanks to the APRA law that allows us to not only know what's happening with the funds and the taxes and where the schools are putting money, but who's mismanaging the assets and resources of what's going on with the school accounts and funds. And I think when you find out, you're going to be very disturbed, and you'll find out no longer was it ever for the kids at all. But they're using the kids as a leverage tool to feed on the emotions of the community residents, and especially those who are like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with Thursday and Friday with my kid being off. What'd you do during COVID? And by all means, it's actually pretty decent. It's real healthy for the kids to have a day or two off to reset themselves to continue on. But then it also saves money with the district, which my question would be for you all right now would be as if they're not having 2 days of school. That means there's 2 days of school each week of lunch funds that I hope it's going back into the account because the records show different. As right here on this actual document, and this is where it actually came from, there's documentation. Now this is from 2012 and 2014. Oh, that's no big deal. Well, that was the first couple years that they were toying with eliminating the buses because funding was funny. But these are the kind of documents that you find on the State Board of Accounts. But if they're worried about school funds and school money, notice that the grants, it's under grants, and it shows you the grant information that was entered into Gateway. They found that the summer food service program for the children was understated by $400,000. $60,000. Ain't that kind of almost the exact price of what they're trying to squeeze us for the referendum? Now, this paperwork, however, is a lot earlier. This, I believe, was last year. It's 2023 paperwork. And you can find all these documents on the SBOA website. It's for all to see, and thank you to the APRA law that allows us to look at this stuff legally and to the public. And if you go through a lot of their documents, you'll find that it is complete information, but when you read, it says that they described identified reportable instances of noncompliance found as a result of the procedures. The state of Indiana has procedures very specifically for these issues. And unfortunately, it was passed down to those in the paperwork that it wasn't the school administrators that was overseeing it and their accountant and finances. No. It was having to do with the sponsors. And the sponsors are the teachers. And it's very crystal clearly explains of what their findings were. But I find it odd that there's 400 and something thousand missing, and they're asking for another 460 something thousand for bus transportation and other fees. And people can argue that it's not going to take your taxes up. Sorry, my taxes have gone up from the last referendum. But if you believe that I'm giving misinformation, feel free to go to the website. But I found this on a newspaper article that's not even from our area. But this very specifically says a school official blamed the state cutbacks that they have reduced funding for many employees to have school pay. And it's funny because very clearly in all these audits that the state did, it shows very clearly that the money's there. For some reason, it keeps disappearing, and no one has receipts to prove a lot of stuff. And this is not my words. This is all in their documentation that you can find on the state website. But it continues to go on, but you're more than welcome to stop and read this if you like. It also reports very clearly that the audit reports the lack of internal control extends into the district's funded program, including school lunches and textbook. Now, they're trying to push the referendum for more educational purposes, but let me go there. I mean, make no mistake, they got quite a bit of money. And all these are for technology and, educational things. But at the end of the day, I know you can't see it, but it's $918,000 that they've gotten for technology and textbooks and other type of loans, temporary loans that they've gotten for these specific reasons, for the children. So stop believing it's for the children. That is a lie, and it's very well painted. And if you don't believe me, that's fine. Find it for yourself if you have the backbone. Go to this website, find the Indiana State Board of Accounts, click on audit reports, fill in what school, what county, and what town, and then you'll find any documentation that you can click on this little blue hyperlink, and it will show you exactly what's going on. And if you look closely and pause it, you will find that some of these are actually federal compliance problems and federal financial issues and supplemental issues. But don't take my word on it. It's all right here for everybody to see. Thank you to the APRA law, APRA law. Thank you to that law. That law makes sure that we hold our public officials and our administrators accountable. And if you read some of these documentation, you're going to find it stems for years and the same thing continually internally. The problems there. I'm the Lake Station Community Advocate and Educator. Check out Lake Station Strong Towns Collective on Facebook. Lake Station Strong's Local Conversation as well on Facebook. And obviously, if you're watching me here, well, we know you're there. Be an eagle, don't be a crow. Challenge the status quo, because if you don't, you never know what you can achieve on your own and what we can achieve together for the community for now and for the long haul. Until next time, people.